What's good, you guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Tamaria and I go by Tamaria Lekay on all my social media platforms. So feel free to go ahead and follow me on your favorite one. All right, we're continuing the story time. Apparently we're going to go ahead and continue the story time, which I get it. It's been some content that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. However, I've overthought the process of how and when and the format in which I should do it. And so I just never got around to it. To sharing my perfect story, I guess. Whoa. So we're getting into another story time. I'm gonna leave a list of all of the story times that I've been doing recently so that you can get caught up. But the best way that you can keep up with this series that we're creating tonight is to just go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Yeah, next story. So in this particular story, y'all know that saying where they're always like, be delusional about what you want and it'll come to you. Be delusional, right? You gotta be delusional. So back in the early 2000s, right? My mama, she had a whole delusional moment, right? Like, I feel like what it is, because I've been reading Women Who Run with the Wolves, right? And they talk about, you know, the psyche being broke down. I feel like what it was for her, she had a psyche breakdown that she wasn't able to recover. But back then, I ain't know nothing about the Women Who Run with the Wolves, right? So here we are thinking that my mama is fucking possessed by a demon because of all of the stuff that she is doing, because of this breakdown that she's having that nobody can explain, right? So my mom, Christian, right? Christian background. She was a faithful church goer, right? I've mentioned to you guys before that my mom would make me read the Bible as punishment when I was a child, right? I used to walk into church and be so scared. Coochie be sweating. I'd be so scared. Like, God is gonna find me, figure it out, something. Just coochie just sweating, nervous. But anyway, so mama she was a Christian. She was in the choir. She was on, she was doing the, what do you call it? When the ushering, right? Paying her tithes, you know, she was a devout Christian woman, right? Right? So I feel like her first part of her breakdown was when she kind of like started, I don't know what she watched or what she heard or what she was exposed to when it comes to the church, but like all of the all of the false, you know, back in the day, right? I haven't been to church in a long time, but I hear it's getting better. I hear church is getting better. I might have to stop by there one Sunday, see what's up. But anyways, so she found out something about something that's going on in the church and somebody lying, something, right? But it was like an extreme truth that she found out, right? And I feel like it caused her to have a breakdown because she wasn't ready for it, and she had been living her life a certain way according to her Christian values, right? And at this point in time, she was probably thinking, oh, I done did all this when I, trying to be a Christian. Trying to be a Christian, right? She thinking, I'm getting married, I'm gonna be a Christian wife. God's gonna provide for me all these things that we being taught about in the Bible. The man is gonna provide this life, because with me, God and Christ, right, we gonna have this life. But my stepdaddy told y'all he was a functioning alcoholic, and his ambition was very, very low, right? He wasn't out here hustling. He was a bare minimum provider. He let her control his check. He did stuff around the house. cooking and cleaning and stuff like that, but he wasn't ready for anything like, you know, big, you know, like what's being sold in religion, like this big, glorious life full of blessings. Like, he wasn't ready for nothing like that. He was a simple man. All right. My mama was not a very simple woman, right? She wanted more. Stepdad wasn't giving her more. Here she was. She didn't spend 20 years with this man because of this Christian religion and teachings. And so she comes to this truth, and it causes her to have this mental psyche breakdown, right? So here I was thinking maybe it was me, because I did give my mom some weed, right? It was some weed I didn't like. I gave her the weed that I didn't like, and it was some weed that I got from these people who also use meth, right? I ain't like the weed. It didn't taste right. I gave it to my mama. Maybe that triggered her in a way that, I don't know, could have also been a part of the whole breakdown, right? It could have been, I don't know. But I do remember that happening, like as things are unfolding and we're starting to notice that something's not right with her up here, right? We starting to notice that she not herself no more, right? So I'm like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Did I drug my mom, right? But I feel like it was just like a series of things that was happening to her that just caused her to break down. So she doing delusional stuff, right? I feel like maybe what it was one of them TV shows where they be selling the holy water and the white church cloths. I don't know if she heard something on one of them, but she just started being very delusional, but in a sense to where it was like she was being delusional, but it didn't look like, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't like no luxury delusion, you know what I'm saying? It kind of was, but it kind of also was not, right? So she would do stuff like ask the cab person to take her somewhere, and they would, and then she wouldn't pay them. She would call another cab to have them come pick her up and bring her back home. She wouldn't pay them, right? So eventually she's getting, you know, blocked, right, by all these cab companies that's been picking her up and taking her all around town, and she's not paying them. She started doing weird stuff, like, in public. So yeah, she started doing stuff like, you know, getting arrested for being nude in the public. She was going to the casinos. I remember specifically witnessing her go to the ATM, and she was like trying to take out, you know how ATM is like you can only take out 400, 450, 500 max, right? She was putting into the ATM machine that she wanted to take out 500,000 from the ATM machine. I seen her do it. She put the card in there, do it over and over and over and over and over and over multiple times. I'm like, Mama, let's go. She started stealing from Walmart, saying that all of the land was hers and this was supposed to be free, right? She started stealing from Walmart. This is when self-checkout first started. She would go to self-checkout, get her stuff, and come home. She would come home with a whole chicken, those Walmart mashed potatoes, just the Walmart macaroni and cheese pre-cooked, right? Some rolls, something to drink. She would feed her children, right? So we seeing her spiral. We don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Medicaid and covering the kind of therapy or psychiatrist that we felt like she needed in that experience. So the only thing we could try to do is just see if it's going, you know what I'm saying, kind of work its way out. You know, if she's just going to wake up one day and be back to normal. And it didn't happen, right? So eventually she starts getting to this point to where she's getting put in a mental facility kind of thing, right? So they're taking her, you know, letting her stay there for a couple of nights, giving her drugs, and then sending her back home, right? So she was in and out of like a little rehab thing, I want to say 2 or 3 times in the town that we lived in, and then they eventually sent her to one that was like in the city, right? So we didn't call the pastor for the pastor to come over. She didn't cussed out the pastor. Baby, when I tell you I wasn't living in the house at that time. I had my own apartment, right? Here I am, 18, my own apartment, already married, right? And I remember her calling me one day and telling me she was gonna come over to the house. I said, okay. And then like 5 minutes later, I swear to God, my mom was at my house and I'm like, how you get here that fast? How you get here that freaking fast? And I remember her having like these blisters on her feet, right? It's like the sandal had rubbed against her feet so much and so fast, and it got hot and she had the blisters on her feet. I'm just sitting here like, God, what is going on? God, what is this? What is going on with my mama? Right? She done ran my stepdaddy out the house. He had to go stay with my auntie, right? She in the house by herself, tearing shit up, right? Tearing shit up, eating food straight out the can, right? To us, we don't know what's going on with her. We had aunties come from, 45 minutes away from out of town to come check on her. She cussing them out. I'm just like, oh my God. And before she had this breakdown, I remember her telling me something that was strange. Like I seen her like talk in a whole, like speak tongues almost in a sense, but it didn't sound like tongues that you traditionally hear in a church. It sounded like something else. I don't know what it was. And she was like, you gotta do something. And I'm like, don't send me on no mission without telling me what the mission is. I gotta do what? Why don't you just tell me what I gotta do? And she tell me, oh, you gotta do this, and then start speaking in tongues. How I'm supposed to know what it is I gotta do, ma'am? You didn't tell me. And then you leave. You know what I'm supposed to do? So it was a whole scary, spiritual, physical. It was like a scene straight out of a movie. I promise you, it was a scene straight out. Like, it kind of almost reminds me of that Netflix TV series of, what's it called? What is it called? And I've been thinking of telling y'all this story for so long. And My Mother's Sins, right? There's a Netflix series called My Mother's Sins on Netflix, which is a similar story to what I'm telling you, except for the lady is Caucasian, and not only does she, lose her psyche behind religious beliefs and just, all it is, she starts killing people, right? My Mother's Sins. So it kind of reminded me of my situation, and it's like I been wanting to come on here and do a story time about it, but like I said, wow. So yeah, my mom, she goes through this whole thing, bro, and I just remember like before she passed away, the last time we picked her up from like the little hospital or clinic thing that she was in, like I looked into her eyes, and when I tell you, it was just like I felt like there was not anything there, bro. Like I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like there was nothing there. And it was weird because she was looking at me and she was smiling, her physical body was smiling, but her eyes, it was like her soul had went somewhere else. Like her spirit, it was like she was there, but she was not there. And then I know like the day before she died, she was like, I'm sorry, I had to leave my baby. And then the next thing I know, I'm getting a call that my mama, you know what I'm saying, is going through something, and then she passes. So yeah. As far as the whole demonic thing goes, I don't really think it was demonic. I felt like from reading the book Women That Run with the Wild, I feel like she just had a psyche breakdown that she wasn't able to recover from, because she didn't really have any way of gaining like knowledge or information about how to kind of like recover and get herself in a better position. Because I mean, I've also gone through a period in my life where I was kind of like atheist. Like after getting shot, I was mad at God because I was still here. You know what I'm saying? Like, God, I thought I was gonna come see you and chill with you, and I'm still here, right? So I kind of had my own mental like breakdown a few times on a few different subjects about, you know, coming to a reality of life in a different light known to what I was taught for it to be, right? So I feel like that's what it was for her. She just had a breakdown. Well, I don't know if it was a breakdown or what, but I was just like, I hope it's not genetic, you know, like they say you gotta break generational curses, right? You gotta break the generational curses, right? And it's like, do demonic spirits be getting passed down and you gotta slay them? Like, I don't know. But it was just a weird situation. And I feel like, yeah, I think I'm gonna just go ahead and end the video right here, because yeah, all of these are really kind of awkward and strange. And yeah, bye.